whoever the infiltrator is going to disobey Elijah Muhammad and kill Malcolm anyway. Go back to Alex Haley and the book Autobiography of Malcolm X. Malcolm said, I will literally lay my life down for that man. Malcolm said that, right? So if Malcolm would die for him, and now it's time to die, and his son ain't willing to die for him. But the only way they can make it look convincing is what we call a left bump. Boom. It looks convincing enough. Never knowing our culture. See, Elijah lived by the culture of the chiefs of the land. But they want us to live by Europeanized ways and tell us that that's how we supposed to live. So we look at shit with the wrong perspective. So we're going to exploit that to create a rift between Malcolm and Elijah. Right. This is going to make Malcolm go against Elijah because he's the only one in the mission statement of COINTELPRO besides Martin and Elijah. So therefore we know they're going to come at him. Right? So when Malcolm run the red herring, he do a press conference and name names, infiltrators. Named the names of the infiltrators. Then he said, I'm not telling. I know the code of the street. The police told me this. The enemy told me who the enemy was so that I know who was trying to kill me. He named names of infiltrators. If they obey Elijah Muhammad, we know that they with the messenger. But if they go after Malcolm and disregard the orders of the messenger, we know they ain't with him. So publicly, in front of everybody, he told the fruit, do not touch a hair on Malcolm's head. He said, Allah gonna take care of Malcolm. I don't want his blood on our hands. The same fucking thing the French said. When Malcolm tried to get off the plane in France and they wouldn't let him off, they say, we don't want your blood on our hands. The French was the only motherfuckers that we ran up out of here totally because they lost 2 out of 3 battles, major battles. They lost to Chief Pontiac and they lost to Tucson. Now they got to go home. So they sell the protectorate agreement to not advance beyond the Appalachians to the English, who don't have to follow their motherfucking orders because they don't give a fuck anyway. They coming. But the Englishmen look like us. They own the Royal Virginia Company and the Royal Northwest Trading Company, a slave trading company, merged with the Royal Moroccan Company to become one company under a treaty of peace and friendship so they can stop fighting each other on the transport of goods and from the Americas back to Europe. See, we talk about the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, but we don't go find out what they were signing the treaty for and who the treaty was being made with. These was trading companies. This like Ford, GM, and Chrysler fighting over the auto industry, then all of a sudden the only solution was for the president to force them to merge and become the United States Automakers, Inc. That's all that happened. So they tricked us out of our shit. But when you understand what's going on, you see what's going on, we know who the dirty players is.
Right. Yeah. And they look just like us. And people have to understand that this system was built by them, whether you know it or not. It was. Right? And we have to go back and start, you know, putting the pieces together. But like you said, our ancestors couldn't do it because we was just simply trying to make a dollar, feed
Well,
the family.
we had a different structure. We didn't need money per se,
Yeah.
right? We traded services for goods indeed. Like I would come fix your mama's sink and she cooked me 5 loaves of bread.
Yeah.
Right. So when they came over here, we had gold and coal was the big things at the time. That was what Big Mama kept in her bank for bartering trade. The gold and the coal, all Big Mamas, the wealth of the community was stored in golds and coal. The coal had big piles of coal in certain parts of the land because they used that to heat the homes and shit. Anyway, the gold was used to mint coins between clans, and we do trade with gold coins. They tell
Right.
y'all that we didn't have no currency, but they sent their outlaws to shut down all Big Mama banks in order to establish the central bank. So what the fuck did we have banks for?
Right.
I mean, shit. So now all of the banks get a federal contract with the government under FDIC rules to establish a central bank to protect their interests because these
Yeah.
outlaws keep robbing Big Mama house.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's the bottom line. And it don't have no other choice but to be shut down. And that's what people not understanding is that, like, that's why they pulling out now. That's why they say we're not touching the dollar no more, y'all. We can't. It's time to pull out. It's time
Look,
to pull out.
if you look at the BRICS nations, they
Mm-hmm.
building a currency dam. They forcing the American dollar back so it can drown itself out.
Yep. Nation by nation.
It's strategic. That's why they keep telling you how every couple of days a new nation join the BRICS nations.
Yeah.
Because
Shit. A few
under
weeks
the
ago, it was
in
20.
the gold cycles, what we call these prosperity cycle, everybody has to have an opportunity to be wealthy at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is wealth is relative to who's at the bottom and who's at the top,
Mm-hmm.
right? So everybody has now got a drop of the royal blood, everybody royal family. People don't like to hear that shit. They want to be superior because of their melanin or because of their lack of melanin.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be superior, follow the way of the superior man.
Right.
Follow the way of the superior woman. Understand from your God self that there's nothing in creation that doesn't belong here. And everything, some things are only here for a season, but everything is here for a reason.
Right.
These are cycles that will change, and they do change. We adjusted and adapted over eons of doing this shit. So we did something. We went into an amnesia. Now we waking up.
Right.
Then when we wake up and realize that we can drive to what we call a prosperity cycle, and we can lay out a better way for the next 7 generations. And then we know that if we teach our children a better way, when it comes time for them to reset the next cycle in 7 generations, they'll be able to make it even better than it is between us and them.
Mm-hmm.
This is the goal. We got to be, remember, a midget on a giant's shoulder can see farther than the giant. And we all on the shoulder of giants, so we should be able to see pretty far if we just pay attention. But
Right.
that price is too steep for a lot of people.
Mm. I
They're
know.
not willing to pay that price of attention in order to liberate themselves from a mental prison.
Yeah. Exactly.
Hologram got to shut down.
Yeah. All of us got to shut down. We don't understand that part. And a lot of us, like, I have people send me things all the time about, man, you know, it's shutting down, man. We're not gonna be able to go to the store. We're not gonna be able to do this. They bringing body bags. They doing, and I'm like, that's not our timeline though. You see what I mean? That's not for us. We have endured everything that they could possibly do. They can't do anything worse. Right now is payback time. This is a celebration. This is our time to get everything back. And then some.
This is called the Great Redemption,
Mm-hmm.
right? If I can get enough people to spread enough information across the land to hit critical mass, all the stuff I be saying becomes active,
Right.
right? I just be reminding us of our cultural ways because that's how you remind people of who they are,
Mm-hmm.
right? Why we like fried chicken? They make fun of us for it. It was a cultural phenomenon, right? We didn't use chickens, we had a different bird, but the concept is the same,
Yep.
right? We
Yep.
we didn't have bags of potato chips. We didn't have bags of popcorn and Twizzlers. So Big Mama would keep bowls of fried yard bird on the counter for gas. She'd fry 2, 3 times a day because the children that would come visit needed snacks. So she'd give them a square cornbread or she'd give them a piece of chicken.
Yeah.
But don't touch the breast because that's for Big Papa.
Right.
We all knew. Now we don't remember the culture. So when they make fun of the watermelon, which was our flush, it was our summertime hydrant. How we rehydrate in the summer was watermelon. So they make fun of us because we was wise enough to know that when it's 107 degrees in the goddamn shade, get them babies some watermelon so they don't die from a heat stroke.
Right.
We knew that, but now we made fun of it. They make fun of us for eating a watermelon. That's so they can deter us from the benefits.
Right.
But the cultures say, fuck what they talking about. I'm getting me some watermelon. That's the culture speaking through us that make us not give a damn about the stereotype attached to give us a stigma. My people been eating watermelon longer than these motherfuckers been here.
Right.
We invented that shit.
Right. Exactly. We grew it. That gave us our superpower right there.
Look, we invented watermelon. We invented motherfucking strawberries. We invented motherfucking wheat. All of this shit, we were botanists that cultivated. We were cultivators of the land, and we needed to plant shit we could eat.
Yep.
Right? What fucking good do it make to plant a weed that you can't eat?
Right.
Right? And then the ones that became poisonous, them not for food, no way. That's for medicine.
Mm-hmm.
It's not supposed to be orally consumed, but we knew that. Now we don't know shit. My father said we don't know shit from Shanola.
Yeah. Flat out. I got one more question, right? So I heard your live when you was telling everybody, yeah, you was going in on the Young Elders channel. You was like, stay the fuck home. It's over. Babylon is over. It's over. Y'all going in there buying tissue paper and shit. It's over, right? And I'm listening to you, and I'm like, yes, this is what I'm talking about. But you said something. You said, stay home. Stay home. Let them clean all this shit up in the streets. Stay home. Now, I have a question because people been talking about, right, the bunkers going underground.
Yeah.
Right? People saying we all need to go out into the streets versus staying home because the way that our homes are set up, they're not set up for long-term stays such as.
Let me tell you what I was talking about. Because while that was going on, I was also reporting on the raiding of bunkers, showing people the earthquake chart of what I was talking about when they was raiding bunkers. They raided one under the White House, and a couple of soldiers died in that shit. They raided them under the Vatican and under Buckingham Palace too. I reported on all that shit when it was going down was for. They was chasing some beings called archons. They reptilians, right? And it was one who was the hive queen that lived under the Vatican. Inanna severed her head. She came back on the jumper because she said, well, nobody killing that bitch but her.
Indeed.
So I was fucking mad because I wanted to kill the bitch myself. But I was reporting on all that stuff back then when it was happening.
Gotcha.
Right, in
it
real.
Still sounded relevant now because we're going through the same damn cycle where they trying to lock it down again, but we're not falling for it.
This called the flip. Everything we seen going in to the redemption, we seeing going out. My videos that didn't get a lot of circulation in the beginning get more circulation at the end. The shift in the algorithm tells me the shift in the culture. Right? So as I watch the algorithm shift, and the people remembering and they seeing and recognizing somebody telling them something that their ancestors or their elders told them had nothing to do with us. And now they calling them on it, and the ones who was for the bullshit is fumbling the ball. Right? They fumbling the ball. They can't, that's over with. They done. And so now these youngsters is catching on to how to use their telekinesis, moving shit with their mind and shit. Because the veil is lifting and it's coming to a grand finale. Right? So now, even though it sounds relevant for the day, it's just that it's on the turnaround of a cycle. So it's going to be saying the same thing in a different tone. That's how we read our ancestors' messages in stone around the world. It tells us how to regroup. That's what the Bang Dong Conference was, us regrouping. That's what the UNIA was, to get us to regroup on the land before we go over there to the Bang Dong Conference. We can at least be prepared to have some kind of network set up that when it comes time to reclaim the land, we can oust the enemy around the world simultaneously. Right? So all of us join forces. And we get mad at other people for being on the land. A lot of these people we called over here to offer an aid and assistance in purging ourselves of the enemy. Absolutely. A lot of these Asians is coming over here to render assistance. Filipinos, they all fighting the same enemy.